Good morning, everyone. So today we have a little package unit. I installed this controller. I'll show you why. It's gonna be extremely noisy, so let me rather switch this unit off. And there'll be a delay to it. You guys probably won't be able to see the display so well. Any case, the client has a complaint. Let me just have a look. That time will have to be adjusted. Time is slightly out, but the date is correct. They're not able to operate the system. So there's a delay on the evaporator fan, so I'm just waiting for it to shut off the system completely, because you guys won't be able to hear a thing once I get inside. Let me just try and see if I can yank this open. All right. So, this was the old system. So this is still the controller that they've got over here. But this thing is not working at all. So yeah, this whole panel is basically just for display purposes right now. So got out to drive semi-speed. Check for them to see some visible oil and some spots. So we're just gonna do an oil check. Look at this. Anyway. And then I'll give you. Alright, so as you guys can see and tell, here they had a spare controller, but this thing is not working as well. And it's really it's a Johnson controller, but this is what we've got. Alright, so this is our controls. So basically what I done was I installed one of these. This is what we call an ice pack, and so basically how it works is very basic, but it's got a lot of interesting features to it. So we've got our supply coming in, which is a single phase to 30 volt supply. Then we have a control vault section right here, which comes all the way from this transformer here. So we running the 24 volts, we're running across, and we're coming in over here, which means all of these outputs are on the common side is 24 volts. The reason we did that was because all of these relays are all of these contactors, there we have one relay, but all of these contactors are 24 volt coil voltages. That's why we had to do that. Otherwise we were going to have to replace all of these contactors. So everything is working as per usual. It's just the logic is coming from this board instead of from this guy over here. And so yeah, this goes and it gives on your analog inputs. You've got all your analog inputs and so forth, and it's giving us outputs. So all of that is working correct. But the issue at this stage is basically outside. These are the refrigeration units. The issue is with the control, so we just need to confirm and verify that the heating cycle is working correctly. Now this is a cooling only system, so straight cooling on these compressors. Come over here where the blower motor is. So there's your fan motor that drives the belts seem okay. I'll have a closer look But this is our heat strips right here. So I'll see if I can give you guys some footage on the thermal camera once we hook up the heat switch, and this right here will be our supply. So yeah, we just gotta make sure everything looks decent here. See if we can get some information off that motor. So airflow is not an issue because the heat strips will only switch on if there is airflow. So we've got an airflow switch. We'll run through all of the safeties to confirm if there's something that's preventing the heating cycle from operating. We might even have a break in the loop over here, which is not activating the heat strip. So we'll have a look and see, make sure that the voltages are correct. The other thing was, which I had recommended, was for us to change out these junction boxes, and that's basically for all the condenser fan motor connections. It looks terrible in there. Yeah, there was a piece of sheet metal put on here because to deflect the heat coming from the condensers would get drawn in over here, because this is the fresh air intake side. Let me show you guys. This is the fresh air side, and you guys can see, oh my gosh, look at this filters. Look at this filters. Yeah? Look at this filters. So here's my sensor. I brought my sensor over here. So this is drawing return from the shop downstairs, and this is the louvers that will, as you can see, none of this stuff is none of these things are in play anymore. So yeah, I'm not too familiar on the history of we can manually do it. I'm not too familiar with the history of all the repairs on this site. Like I said, I basically just done the controls. All of these things have been done to the unit already. So alright guys, so we confirmed where the issue was. So on our dip switches, the system was set up for cooling only. The wiring is correct because this is 2-stage cooling and 2-stage heating. However, we just have one output for our heating relay, which goes to this contactor and then activates our heater strips. So right now we've tested, we've got 24 volts output. I'm going to switch the system back on. It's very difficult to hear me once the system starts running, but I'll try my best. But we're gonna have to have a look at that that oil pressure as well. I think we definitely have a faulty either oil pump, because I'm not seeing anything. So yeah, it's gonna get loud in here, so I'm gonna step outside and oh, look at that. Need to sort that out. Alright, and I'll see if I can give you guys some footage on the thermal camera about this. I knew I had a manual down in the van because I just needed to confirm that our dip switches are set correctly. We are set up for 2-stage cooling, single stage heat, but also for electric heat, since the system doesn't have a reversing valve. So we're just going to confirm that all our connections are correct. Then we'll test the heating cycle, but we definitely have a problem with the Alright guys, so it came down to a faulty contactor. The settings that we had to adjust on the controller via the dip switches, and as you can see, we are all good. Well, however, I have to come back. This compressor is low on oil, and that one we've got a pressure switch that's activated, so I think we're a little low. We're on low on charge on that system, so we're gonna have to do a leak search. But the client doesn't want to bother with that right now. They're just using the heating function